And once they're recorded, then they get converted to a YouTube video, and then I post the link to the YouTube video for that. I'll try to remember not to make it private. But private was the right way to go, but I guess it wasn't. Other initial questions before we get, going on intro day? Anybody want to maybe tell me a little bit about, are you all familiar with each other? Are you part of a cohort that, or you don't know each other, or how's that work? Last semester, it was all like a group of people, last summer, who went around together on campus. But you're all not on campus, right? So are you talking campus all, assuming we can?
We're all nursing though, I'm pretty sure.
Right, the VES, the VSE program. All right, well, say hello to each other then. So intro stuff. I'll be sharing the screen to look at some things. Anybody feel like you kind of have no idea what this class is about? Like, what could this possibly be? Go ahead, admit it if you do. It's an English class. It's a writing class, right? It's not a mystery. It's Comp 1, and then you'll take Comp 2. It's all kind of set in stone a little bit, what we do in classes like this. We read some, we write some. We write about whatever the topics are at the time. So I'll talk a little bit about that, probably more tomorrow than today. Tomorrow's really when we're going to start on like content. Today is just intro, get to know each other and all that kind of stuff. Anybody want to know anything about me that I didn't already say? I have a funny story to tell about the Black Lives Matter protests and all that. I was going to write it in an email, but it was getting too long and all that. Obviously, I hope we're all as horrified and all by the death of, George Floyd and all the other brutality and all that. So when that first happened, it was like, oh, it was very traumatizing, right? To see that video when you first saw it. But I'm not really a very outgoing political guy. I'm not going to go out there and protest. I'm too old and too cranky for all that stuff, right? But my daughter is, crazy left. When I say crazy, I'm not saying I disagree with her. She just, she's very out there and into it. She's married to a young black man, and so they have, worries about those kinds of things, as you can imagine. But she's very militant in her disapproval. So she's out there on the front lines. Well, she was at a protest on May 30th. And like, I don't know, it was a Friday and a Saturday when the protests were happening. And then on Sunday, she called and she was frantic because she lost her phone. She thought she lost it right near her apartment building. So I went over there, I scoured the apartment building, I looked all around, rode up and down the street, blah, blah, blah. This is going somewhere, I promise you, because it happened today. So she lost her phone, and I had the insurance, so I had to replace it. It cost me $220 or whatever. So she got her new phone. We had all kinds of trouble with the cloud and all that, logging in and blah, 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 whatever. But my wife, who never listens to her voicemail, happened to listen to a voicemail yesterday that she got from a Houston police officer who said, I found your daughter's phone on the street or something. She must have been at a protest and dropped it. And nice as can be. You see the irony here? Like, she hates on police, like big time. And this guy is a Sergeant Burke. I'll give him a shout out because he was really nice when I called him. He's going to like hand deliver me the phone, but she was all skeptical when we told her about it. She was all like, oh no, it's a setup. They're going to arrest me. I said, oh my God, I don't think the world police are coming to get you, Annie. Anyway, I just thought that was a funny story because I'm not really political. She is very political. I mean, I have don't get me wrong. I have views. I just don't get out there and, shout at people or whatever, or get shouted at. So that was something I was going to share with you about my daughter. She's fun to have around. What about you all? How do you feel about the world happening now, COVID and social issues, our dear president that we love so much? You're all going to vote, right?
Yeah.
Not that it will matter a whole lot in Texas, but at least we'll make ourselves heard. Of course, I don't know, the option is, here I go getting political. Anybody waving a flag for Joe Biden? Or it's like, stick your head in the sand and hope for the best. Yeah. I usually don't like to talk about politics and stuff like that, but you got to admit our president is a little bit off kilter. Anybody disagree? This is a class and argument. I'm willing to hear your viewpoint. Sorry about my hair. Like I said, I haven't gotten it trimmed since before the semester began, before January. Come on, somebody weigh in. Let me say something controversial. What's going on in news? You think we're going to have to shut down again?
I think we're going to shut back down again because the cases keep rising, especially here in Texas. Like, they're just going up and up and up.
That's because all you young people, you just don't, hear, y'all just go out there on the beaches.
Whoa there. Because, like, if you look around, like, I went to Walmart the other day to go pick up something, and I'm seeing all these older folks walking around with no mask, with their kids, no mask. I think it's a big range. It's just people that feel like they don't need to wear a mask that don't wear a mask. I mean,
we're in Texas. Texas, I love you if you're from Texas, but Texas people tend to think they're invulnerable. I'm Texan. Nothing can take me down. Me and my big truck. No offense if your dad has a big truck or if you have a big truck. Zaria. Cameron. Wherever I'm looking, that's where you appear on my screen. Sorry. Kiana. Tell me if I'm saying it wrong.
You're saying it right.
Okay. Dastani. Did you all ever see the Key and Peele where it's a substitute teacher? Ever see that? Key and Peele, Jordan Peele.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's a substitute teacher, and people's names like Jacob, and he goes, Jacoby. No, it's Jacob, man. No, it's Jacoby. So Destiny. Darius? Cool. Oh, you're the one that gave me trouble. How do you put two consonants together like that? Is the J pronounced?
Yeah, it's Dewan. You said it correctly.
Oh, Dewan? Okay. No, you I really had trouble with. Judea?
Yeah, that's it.
And Nisiara. Close? All right, so any questions before we look at the syllabus and talk about what we're really going to be doing? In some, what we're going to do is you're going to have to write a whole lot in a very short period of time, but I hope I conveyed the idea that it looks like a whole lot of stuff, but it's just because I'm trying, we only have 5 weeks to kind of pretend that we're doing what we would do in 15 weeks. So we're just hitting on the main things. And then I hope I give you the right, muscle and information to go into Comp 2. I assume you have to have Comp 2, right? So let's look at some videos of music. No, I'm just kidding. Who's the hottest artist out there right now? Getting too close. Push this back. When Annie, my daughter, got married, this thing that's behind me was something it's a picture of New Orleans, and it was something we used as a backdrop for pictures and stuff. That was last September. Who's the hottest? Still Drake? I haven't been in contact with all my young people lately. I don't know who's hitting it. Nisiara just jumps around on me. I don't know. She hopped over to the other side. All right, so let's share a screen. Can't find it. You also, I gotta share it. What do you see right now? Anybody? Help me out.
We see the e-courses page.
Where it says first meeting draft, first meeting right there. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yay. So it's kind of right. All right, so the e-courses page, anybody want to ask questions about that? Like what you're seeing now is my page, so all this hidden stuff you don't see. So somewhere on here we'll have to change our time to 1. The basic way that it's going to work is like we'll meet tomorrow. Tomorrow will be like our first official content day. And then I'll tell you what those assignments are. Looks like a lot, but they're all like short and sweet. And then we'll get rid of that. And then you're going to write for the first time on Monday. And what I'm calling real time, it's not really real time because you get to do it whenever you want, but you're writing it in a timed way. Does that make sense to everybody? So it'll be open for you. You just have to complete it by Monday night or whatever it is. And you'll have the whole span of time, and then you can come and go at least once for now. So you can look at it, kind of collect your thoughts, go have lunch, go cry on your sofa, whatever, and then come back and write. I'll talk more about it tomorrow, but basically this first paper is all about identity. If we had the time, the inclination, and we were together, we'd do this whole discussion where I'd ask you to tell me 10 things about yourself that are factual, but that are also part of who you are. So you can be thinking along those terms, like your age, all those. Well, we're probably not going to have a vocabulary quiz because you just don't have the time to do it. But one of the words that I always bring out is demographics. Do you know what demographics are? You know, like what demographic do you belong to? So it could be your income, it could be your age, your where you grew up, you know, all those kinds of things. So I'll be thinking about that as far as who that makes you be who you are. And we'll do a couple of readings that are about identity and, you know, how sometimes we don't have control over, or much control over who we are. So, but we can control, I think, well, you can tell me I'm wrong, but we can control a little bit the direction that we put ourselves in, no matter where we come from. If parents are poor and abusive or whatever it is, we can, sometimes if we make the right decisions. Anyway, I'm not trying to preach to you. That's kind of what the first essay is going to be about. I know you can't see me because I'm sharing a screen, but I'm gesturing over here very wildly. Right up here in this repository is also one of our vocabulary words. It just means a place to store stuff. So you can see I have a bunch of stuff stored there, and I'll only show you the stuff that's, I didn't spell this wrong right there. All the misspellings come from whoever posted this in a different place. There's a couple of misspellings at other places. I know how to spell articles, I think. That's not it, articles. So right now, those are the textbook readings. The reason why I haven't assigned the textbook is because we're not really going to have a whole lot of time to read from it. So whatever we do, I'm just going to find, and you go find it. And I'm not going to require that you purchase anything now. I never really do, wink, wink, you didn't hear me say this. I don't really do Launchpad because I don't find it all that useful. All it is readings and then like grammar exercises and stuff like that. So just letting you know where I'm coming from. That's why I'm posted this, especially for a 5-week session where we're not really going to get into that book all that much. Some of the readings. But I always kind of supplement it, like with, if you look down here, like, where is it? Chapter 1 that I looked at and I bulleted it and said, hey, make sure you pay attention to these things. So I'll even tell you, browse this reading. Don't kill yourself reading it, So this is all important stuff from chapter 1 of the textbook. And so when you take the quiz, which is, due like Monday or something. Try, this is all messed up. I gotta refresh this page. So the quiz is right here. It's not open yet. It'll open later today, but it's just a quiz on the first chapter and the reading on rhetoric and the reading on argument. And it's all very repetitive. It all says the same thing. But if you look at my little study guide, just like the bulleted thing that I just showed you, I'm telling you what you really need to know, what you need to gather from that reading. Because you know how books are. They gab on and on about samples and stuff like that. So I'm telling you what we need for the meat of it or whatever. I don't like that analogy. I saw a horrible video about what they do to, never mind, I don't want to politicize. So this looks like a lot, but it really is just links for you all to have for the readings or the quizzes or whatnot. So my name is Schmidt. I forgot to introduce myself. That's me right there. I'm not a PhD, which means I don't have a PhD. I have an MFA, which is a different kind of degree. And so I'm not a doctor. Don't call me Dr. Schmidt. You can call me anything else you want. As long as it's not profane. You can call me that, just not in my presence. Or even if you did, I wouldn't do anything. I'd just look at you funny. But that's my email. You've already gotten emails from me. I can email you through here or through the regular email, which is right there. I guess you can see that. You can do the same thing, because if you email me through eCourses, it goes into my eCourses box, but it also comes to my my office box, for the school. I'll be back. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. That was a tough video to record because you don't have a real audience. And I don't have a script that I work from, obviously. I'm kind of flying off the, seat of my pants or whatever, but so I was kind of hemming and hawing. Ring, that was my joke. It could have been knock, knock, Ring, let me in, whatever. You're all like, who cares? Okay, so we're going over the syllabus today. Role, I have the role based upon the recording. Class introduction, it's English 1123, which is Comp 1. It moves away from expository writing and into argumentative writing. What does that mean? Well, it'll become a little more clear to you with the readings, but analytical and informative writing doesn't necessarily take a stance on a subject. It doesn't need to. Maybe it's just telling about, right? In argument, you gotta have to take a stance on some issues. So, I don't know. A lot of times when you talk about argument, you ask the question, what should be done, right? You'll see in the study guide and in the readings, 3 ways that we approach argument We're either talking about what happened in the past, talking about what's going on now, or talking about what should happen in the future. So let's say we analyze the history of race relations in America. Well, we have to look back 400 whatever plus years, analyze all the bad things that have happened and what went down, bring it up to maybe modern times, say from the end of the Civil War through civil rights and so on and so forth. And then we can get to the present, which is, you know, what we see in the news every day, or for I don't know, really what's been going on lately. You all realize it's been going on since really since the 60s, 70s, you know, the last century. Maybe not quite as bad as it is now with all the aggressive behavior. But then we have to ask ourselves, so what do we do? What do we do about it? Because it doesn't seem to be, you know, changing for the better. And that's what argument does. You know, I mean, you could argue about something solely in the past, you know, this thing that happened, the Great Depression or whatever. I don't know how great you all are in your history, but whatever, something that happened in the past, you look at it and you analyze how it went down, why it went down, whatever. So those are the three things that it's going to be on the quiz: past, present, and future. So that's what the course is. You're going to write 3 times. The second and third time will likely be maybe an extension of the first time. Everything, they call it, what do they call it? I forget it. They call it something in a meeting. It's like layered. That's not the right terminology, but you know, we start with something, then you build upon that idea, and then you build upon that idea by doing research. I'd be willing to bet that you've all done some kind of research in high school or somewhere where you had to go to the library, go on the internet, whatever. So it's not anything new. It's just, you know, kind of building toward, you know, what you're required to do in college. Maybe before this is all over, maybe even today, but I'd like to know why you chose Prairie View. Is it location, reputation, whatever? Prairie View is listed pretty high among HBCUs. I think in 2018, it was like number 20. There are a lot of very prestigious schools out there that are ahead of it. So 20 is not bad. Okay, so everybody get it? Kind of what the thrust of the course is. That was thrust and gist, 2 different words. Terminology that you need to know. When I talk about academia or academic or rhetoric or scholastic, those are all words that surround what we do in the university college level. Writing is important for all the world, you know, all the, you know, professional world. But what we're concentrating on is scholastic writing or academic writing, which means that you're writing about ideas, basically. You'll see when we talk about argument maybe tomorrow. One of the types of argument is to convince, right? Let me convince you of an idea that you may not be convinced of already. And from that, we have persuade, which is let me convince you of it and get you to do something because of it. So we kind of focus in that middle ground where you're not going to be trying to convince me to vote a certain way or do anything like that. So anyway, that'll become a little bit more, you know, explicit, known as we progress. Everything's in Arguments, the book. I just put it on there for official purposes. You're not required to buy it. Everything that you need to read, I'll provide for you as a link here on eCourses. These 2 readings here just appeared on our homepage. They come and they go, so you have to kind of search for them. But they both are about identity. They do both have to do with our current social situation, but just it's a coincidence that they are about identity. So in this case, our chief of police, can't remember his name right now, but writes a very short piece about what it's like to be an African-American man, but also chief of police of an HBCU police force. So he's kind of in this weird gray territory. I guess that's a pun, sorry. But, and I thought it was a nice piece. I wrote to him and I said, hey, I appreciate your thoughts. And I invited him to come talk to my classes in the fall. Sorry, we're not meeting, so can't have him come talk to you. And the other piece was about, anybody read either one of these? That other piece is about respecting the lives of Black transgender people who suffer, according to the writer, he's a scholar at PD. Black transgender people have a lot of violence committed against them, statistically. So, but that's an identity thing, you know, who you are, and you're being held accountable for who you are. Anyway, so that, you're not required to read those. I just thought they were kind of coincidental with my angle here. I'm jumping ahead a little bit. All right. Before we do the syllabus, I'm going to stop the share for a second so we can see each other again, or I can see you if I can find my mouse. How about you take a turn and tell everybody hello and what you're all about? Who was it? Who's my my veterinarian person that wrote to me? Works at animal hospitals and stuff. Nobody here? Was that you? You? Zaria, would you like to start us off and tell us all of the wonderful things about you that we should know? You have a very pleasant face. You're not moving though, did you leave us and just leave a picture behind? I'm aware of all your tricks.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Zaria. I like to cook and bake.
I don't know who's talking. She left us? Scared her away.
She might have got kicked out.
Duan, you want to start us off? You seem like you have a outgoing personality.
I guess you could say that. Okay, well, my name is Duan. In high school, I went by DJ, but you can call me DJ or Duan, whichever is easiest for you. I'm a military brat, so my father is in the military. I've lived in 8 different states in 2 different countries. I was born in Germany and raised in the 8 different states. I'm not very good at writing, but I do daily journals just because I have chronic anxiety, so it helps calm me. But yeah, I'm here to try my best, and I'm excited for this class.
I'm sure you do fine, because I'm so easy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to be really hard on you because you might not have an easy teacher in the fall. Jarius, are you there? Oh, where'd he go? There he is.
My name is Darius. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I'm not really a good writer, but I'm here to learn.
Good. Well, not that you think you're a bad writer, but I'm sure you'll be fine too. I hope. If you're that terrible, I might quit. Cameron? Uh-oh. Can you all hear Cameron? Oops, I muted you, sorry. We can't hear you. We'll learn about you. I don't know. Are you on a laptop or phone? Now we gotta learn how to lip read. Hey, I was watching.
She said she's on her laptop.
Yeah, I know. I was watching, I don't know, Pence maybe, the vice president. Somebody was talking, and the what do you call the person who does the? Somebody help me. You know, sign language, not sign language. What is it? Whatever. The person that talks for deaf people with hands, but she didn't have a mask on, and I was wondering why does she need a mask? And my wife said, "Oh, that's so they can read her lips," but she wasn't talking. She was just doing her hand thing. Anyway, Cameron, if you're on a laptop, when I first tried the Zoom thing, people couldn't hear me either. I had to go and find in my settings some kind of way to allow my voice to go out. So I'm not really technologically advanced enough to tell you more than that, but it's probably something in your settings in your audio. Or you're just messing with us because you're shy. Destiny?
Hey y'all. My name is Destiny. I'm from Waco. I like helping others and I like meeting new people
You like, what was the last part?
and meeting new people.
Oh, okay. Well, now you know Dewan. You kind of know Cameron.
Can you hear?
Oh, yeah, we got you. What'd you figure out?
Okay. Huh?
What'd you figure out?
Something on here. I don't know.
Go ahead, tell us about you then.
My name is Cameron and I'm from Dallas. And I model sometimes on the side.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all part of the Dallas-Houston rivalry? Like people from Houston say Dallas sucks, and people from Dallas say Houston sucks. No? Prairie View, TSU, no rivalries. All right, yeah, jumping around on me again. Paige, are you there? There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I'm Paige. I'm from Dallas. I'm be a future surgical nurse, and I'm not that good at writing either. I just didn't have good English teachers in high school. But it's
Yeah. Lazy, maybe. They didn't want to do the hard work. But we'll shape you up for Comp 2 at least. Let's see. Judea?
Hi, y'all. My name is Shadea, but you can call me Ju. I'm from Killeen, Texas, and I'm working to be a neonatal nurse. And I'm pretty good at English, but we're going to see.
Okay, good. Maybe you can help us, make everybody else good. Miss Ciara? Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Miss Sarah. Everybody calls me Nisi because not everybody could pronounce it. And I was born in Puerto Rico. I've been living in Houston for 8 years now.
How do you like it? You cut out. You don't like Houston?
Okay.
Huh?
It's okay.
It's okay. My older daughter, not Annie, but my older daughter has a house that she rents/leases out to a family from Puerto Rico. And when I'm like her house manager person or whatever, so I was over there fixing something, and it was a ceiling fan, and the fellow's mother was staying with them, and she was telling me all about. She was really bragging on. She's like, in Puerto Rico we have such and such kind of fans. She was ragging on me about the fan. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not from Puerto Rico. I'd like to go there, but too many hurricanes like it as well. We missed somebody. Kiana, you're on here twice. One with a face, one without.
It had logged me out and I logged back in.
Okay. Just tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Kiana, and I'm from Houston. I love being outdoors and hanging around my family and friends. I love outdoors and hanging around my family and friends. I love cooking, baking, riding my bike, swimming.
Okay. Cooking, baking, and riding a bike. In that order? That's interesting. Annie's my cook, my daughter. She cooks for the whole family. Of course, she doesn't have a job, so. All right, so the syllabus is really the last thing we need to make sure we're on the same page about. And I'm going to be quick with it because it is what it is. You tell me if you have any confusions about it. I already opened it somewhere. So it's linked on the very top. Oh, that's the wrong place, sorry. This is how it looks if on the place that I have to post it for Prairie Views, records or whatever. So the important thing to pull from this is that this is a writing course, this stuff here. I'll change all this. All that's just kind of official information. What you need to get out of this class is the ability to write an argumentative research paper of a certain length that has a certain bunch of guidelines that go with it. I think it's 3 sources, 1,200 words. That's what we're aiming for. Once you do, if you could do that, expert right now, you wouldn't even have to come, because that's the ultimate thing for these learning outcomes. The learning outcomes are those things that are the baseline materials that we, the instructors, need to aim to get you to be able to do. So when we can put check marks by all those, you know, compose good solid prose. Prose is a fancy word for paragraph stuff, right? Essays and things like that. An essay is nothing more than a coherent, meaning it all sticks together, set of paragraphs. So if you're accustomed to, like I've had students do, they turn in an essay, quote essay, that's, you know, 2 pages, all 1 paragraph. That's not how it works. Now, when you have to write essay exams, like a history teacher might tell you to write an essay about World War I or something, they're not really asking for an essay. They're asking for an extended piece of writing to show that you have knowledge about that content. An essay is a little different in that it has components, and we'll talk about those tomorrow. You probably already know the intro, body, conclusion business and what you do in your body paragraphs and what you do in each of those other parts. So those are I'm just talking about the requirements now. So that's what these learning outcomes would ask you to be able to do when you get out of here at a certain level. And when you go to Comp 2, guess what you're going to do? More of the same, just longer. You know, depending on your instructor, but if you were to take me, it's pretty much more of the same. It's a little more intense, but not all that much. Because of the compressed timeline that we have, there's not much that's going on except the writings and a final exam, and then little assignments that we do along the way. That's, I mean, you can see they're worth, well, you can't see because I'm not sharing with you, right? Dumb me. But I'll share with you in a second. But that's in the a piece of knowledge that you should have is that we're not doing that much besides the 3 major essays. But everything else is kind of building around it. We're supposed to do a group assignment, unless you all really want to. I mean, I don't know how it would happen as a Zoom project. I guess you'd all have to work outside. I mean, have to put a ponytail eventually, you know? Just take a snip to it. I used to have long hair up until December. It was really long. Ask Tamar, one of my past students who loved my long hair. And then I showed up one December day because, the weekend before I felt irritated, so I wanted to trim my split ends. So I went and oops, too many drinks, and then I had short hair. But then I went and got it cut nice, and it's grown out now since COVID. All right, so let me go back to share. Make sure we're not going to hit everything on a syllabus because the syllabus is like 10 pages long. It's not my creation. The only part that I create are the course, the assignment requirements and the schedule. Everything else comes from like a master syllabus created by, I guess, the department. I'm not sure. So are you seeing the grade stuff? 200 points, 300 points, all that. It's all adding up to 1,000 points or 100%. It's just a way to measure by using, 100 points for each assignment. But all that's kind of relative. Why do I do 91 to 100? It's because I would get students who had 89s and they'd want me to bump it up to 90. And it's like, well, no, after the whole semester, I can't fudge it like that. So now if you get I know you're thinking, well, if I get a 90, can I fudge it up to a 91? Well, if you're at a 90 already, I'm okay with fudging it then, right? Because I just altered the numbers. Smoke and mirrors. We only had the one exam, a final exam, because I'm required to give it to you. You get off lucky because the midterm exam is really hard. It's created by the department. I usually spend a lot of time reviewing for it, but I'm not even including it. Got 3 essays to write, and daily work and participation really is just more or less doing all the assignments. All right, don't cheat. Anybody not know what plagiarism is? Well, you're gonna learn this week. Part of my having you write in a timed fashion and creating topics that are not typical is to keep you from that temptation of copying and pasting from study.com or whatever. Here's our schedule. Down below after the schedule, all the resources that you have. I think I said this in the other thing. I'm not really sure what's available given the state of the, the nation and the world and all that with the COVID. But I do get emails that the tutoring center is open. So I'm sure they're providing some services. You just have to reach out. And by the way, if anybody needs an ADA accommodation, it's your responsibility to let me know. Nobody else lets me know that, so that if you need extra time for testing or whatever. This is the stuff about academic misconduct. That's important. It's going to be on a quiz because Prairie View takes it really seriously. I guess they want to maintain a reputation that doesn't allow people to cheat. So plagiarism is the type of cheating that gets done in a writing class where you try to do what I just said, copy and paste materials, or get somebody else to write it or whatever it is. A lot of these policies and all, it's just all part of the master syllabus because we're such a short, small and short and sweet class. I'm not taking attendance the way I normally would. If you want to take me in the fall, I don't know if we're going to be on campus or not, but I think I'm going to have classes just like this, half Zoom and half just online. Online is not, I don't know, do you all like online classes? Have you done it before? Yeah. A lot of people don't like them because you don't get as much direction and you don't have that face-to-face, but that's why I guess the Zoom thing can help. Questions about the syllabus information. It's all there. It's a contract. It says that you understand the requirements of the course, and if I have to fail you, it's your fault, not mine, because you didn't do the work of the class or whatever. That's the syllabus in a nutshell, a quick version of it. Let's see who's here. Can you all see this ad word detected thing? What that's all about. All right, so I'm just taking roll for official purposes. It really doesn't count for anything, points-wise. Paige, Destiny, Lamaya, you're not here, right? Brianna was the one who I think wrote me about the vet stuff. I wonder what happened to her. Well, I can't remember. Okay, everybody else is here. All right, come on, guys and gals. Any questions? I hope it didn't seem like a
question
lot.
about the essays.
Go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes to writing, I'm very like hard on myself. Like I'm not that bad of a writer, but I'm like really hard on myself. So how would you say your grading is when it comes to the writing? Like what are you looking for in the writing?
Well, we're going to talk about that in the next couple of days. There's this thing called the 5 C's that I go through. So those are the, I mean, it's kind of corny sounding, but those 5 C's encapsulate everything. Does it make sense? Is it coherent? Have you applied an appropriate voice to it? So you'll see I give cheats and hints and I'll say, don't use second person because that's not a good voice to have in the academic setting. For this first essay, you'll see I tell you, you have to use first person because it's an identity essay. But typically you'll move away from that. So that's the courtesy thing. That's knowing that it's not courtesy like, oh, hey, thank you, and being polite. It's more like knowing the right language to use with your audience. Completeness and conciseness are two sides of the same thing. Don't try to skim things, but also don't blab on and on about something because Mr. Schmidt assigned 400 words and you're at 320, so you just shooting the proverbial shit for a little while, right? That's the two sides of a comprehensive. Comprehensive is it's complete, but it's also concise. It's not either or. And correctness is grammar. It's like, how good are you with grammar? My job. So if you write an essay and it's a really good essay, but it's full of fragments and subject verb things, I don't give you a grade. I give it back to you with my marks all over and tell you fix it because I don't want to have to give it a bad grade, right? I mean, unless you don't revise it. Revise is just a fancy word that means do it again, make it better. So I think I'm a pretty, the cliche is to say fair, right? But I think I'm in the middle. I'm not that hard. I found out that I'm easier than some of my Prairie View colleagues. We have meetings where we're all great together or whatever, and it's like, oh, people wanted to give things zeros, and I was giving them like 2s out of 5, 0 to 5. I saw the same things wrong with some papers, but I wasn't quite as willing to give them zeros. So all those things come out as you write. Like this first writing it's really kind of diagnostic for me. And then I help you and say, okay, you got a great idea now. And I try to tell you how you could maybe craft it so that it's more academic. And obviously if it's got errors and stuff like that, I try to tell you, about them without overwhelming you. What was the other part of your question? You had a 2-part question, didn't you? DeJuan?
It was like one question. I was just asking it in 2 ways.
The better thing to know is I don't know any of you all that much, obviously. You should be less worried about your essay grade than about improving the essays and doing everything else, because I'm out to give you the best grade for the course as possible. So even if you're a C writer, and I'm not saying you are, but if you're a C writer, there's no reason you can't get a B and maybe even an A in the class just by doing all the other things, because it's all points that are, compiling. So if you're a B writer, I don't know what any of that is. It's all kind of fluid, but say you keep writing and you get the B, 87s is the best you can seem to get. you're right in range of an A for the course, because the course is about more than just producing essays. It's about doing the building process or whatever. I did fail to talk about the glossary terms here. That's one of those easy ways to get points. So right here are, I guess you'll be able to see, I don't think you can see this, I'm not sure. Can you all see this? No, it's a Word doc. So you're not gonna be able to see it. It's weird, it opens up in a different page or whatever. But it's a Word document of the glossary from our textbook, and I have yellow highlights or something. I think I have yellow check marks by all the words that you should know. Most of them you'll probably already know, or they're kind of intuitive, you know. What's an essay? What's rhetoric? I just defined that for you, or it's defined in the study guide. So a lot of the study guide, the glossary words are repetitive. Something easy to study for, right? Look at words, get the meanings down. I can go over them tomorrow with you quickly, just to give you kind of the Schmidt definition of it, you know, so you kind of get it in your head a little differently than a glossary definition. But it's meant to be an easy, whatever, 50 points. So that's the glossary terms. Do you want to see that right now, or anybody want to see it? No? You can look at it yourself, and everything should be available that needs to be available. This thing right here, this, I don't know, can you see the 10 reasons? If you can, that's some video. I guess we don't really have time to watch it. It's just some guy on YouTube, some kind of dorky English guy like me, giving the 10 reasons why students fail English Comp. I'll make it available to you, but we're not going to do it as a group thing. It's just a guy warning you about obvious things like not coming to class, not paying attention, all those kinds of things. Other questions? I know I'm taking a lot of time here, but for a first introduction day. These readings right here, I tell you later to these three. They're not in the text. They come from different places. One of them's written by you know, a professor at PB. But you could probably browse those and get the same information that the chapter 1 has. And then when you look at the study guide right here, I hit all the major things that you need to know for the quiz. This thing right here, we're gonna read something else tomorrow together as it's called an active reading assignment or whatever. It's short. Who Are You Calling Underprivileged is written by I don't know, I can't remember where she's from, but her name is Natasha Rodriguez. And because of her background, she's considered to be an underprivileged student. And she complains about that because that's a stereotype of her identity based upon her name. She comes from like a wealthy family, or, you know, an okay to, you know, family, whatever. So that's kind of like what we're aiming for in the first reading. This one you're going to read on your own. Are we worried about Storm's identity? And then you'll have a quiz, so I can't really talk about it. It's not a hard reading at all. All right, so that's where we're headed. Tomorrow we'll talk about chapter 1. I'll show you. Anybody familiar with Purdue OWL? It's a web page created by Purdue's online writing lab. And that's really a go-to place for your MLA formatting. If you don't know what I mean by MLA formatting, I'll talk about it tomorrow. It's just a type of way to structure your manuscript. There are multiple styles. MLA is just the one I picked to do because it's a humanities style, and that's what we teach. Then we'll read this will be a reading in class. You can read it ahead of time. You don't have to. It'll be more like, you know, a group kind of thing. And then you'll read Storm's Identity on your own and take a quiz. I can tell you what it's, well, I shouldn't tell you because I'll be giving quiz questions away, but it's about gender identity, right? Which is a kind of a thing with that other reading or whatever. So. Sorry. I have a big monitor that sits next to my laptop, and so I go from screen to screen. But right now I have them, the laptop in front of the big screen, so I can't find the mouse all the time. Okay, so any questions? Wait, Lamaya.
Yes,
Uh,
I didn't know we were having a meeting today. I thought it was tomorrow. So I
Okay.
got a text from people in the group chat. I didn't know we were having a meeting today.
Okay, well, I'm glad you showed up. That's another thing. What is it called? What's the thing you all share on your phone where you can contact each other and let each other in a group something? Group me?
Group me?
Group me? If you want to start a group me and add me so that, if we miss things, or if you don't want to add me so you can share things with each other, it might be a valuable thing to do. Anybody want to share with Lamaya what she missed besides the syllabus? We really just had an introduction kind of day. Lamaya, am I saying your name right?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, thank you. You're not driving, I hope.
I was at the car shop getting my car fixed. So I had to stop somewhere and park.
Oh, okay. Well, we're about to wrap it up, I think, unless people have questions, but mostly it's just get familiar with the syllabus, make sure you understand what the class is about. It's a writing class. So other than that, you didn't miss a whole lot, just introductory kind of stuff. You can ask questions tomorrow if you feel confused. Anybody?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What time, will your office hours be? Like, if we needed to ask you questions on a day like we didn't get to see you.
My office hours are going to be by appointment whenever you want during regular, besides Wednesdays, because we'll be meeting on Wednesdays, but anytime not, during the regular business day or whatever, from 10 to 5 or something.
Okay.
And you let me know and I'll create the meeting.
Okay.
And that's how we'll meet.
Okay. Thank you.
The first essay topic is half available. I have hints for you about the topic, things to think about, but you're not going to get the more specific topic until you open the prompt. And that's why I give you all that time, so you can really prepare yourself by understanding the angle that I'm headed for with the readings that we're doing, but also the questions that I'm asking about who you are and where you fit in the world and what you hope for the future of the world, but also the future of yourself in the world. So for example, I was thinking, she's not here, the Brianna, I think I put this in the prompt, but she talks about, wanting to go to veterinarian school. And I think, well, that probably displays that she loves animals, I would assume, right? And so she's going to take a trait of hers and put it to use for her own future, but also to, make the world better or whatever. That's kind of the essence of the first paper topic. I'm not sure about the other paper topics. I have to kind of browse around a little bit. Or maybe we'll have a conversation about it, like what do we want to write about? So anybody want to, before we go, tell me how you came to be at Prairie View? Is it a program specific thing? Is it because you grew up, some of you grew up in Dallas. Dewan grew up all over the world, or all over the country at least. Dewan, are you stable now? Is Dad retired or? I don't know if she heard me. Anybody? Miss Ciara, you look so intent on something.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
much the same way with Dewan. Me and Dewan seen each other in Hawaii, and then we were back in the same city together as well. So
Really?
me and Dewan know each other. We go to the same school.
Hawaii. You're lucky.
Yeah, it was fun.
Mhm.
Chose PV because of their nursing program, and also because it's not too far away from home, and I really love the campus.
That's good. Anybody else? Sure, you're Cameron.
Originally going to Sam Houston. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was originally going to Sam Houston, but Prairie View gave me more money.
That's a good reason.
Yeah.
I had a student last semester who said, I mean, I didn't verify it, but she said she had a full scholarship to like Harvard, but she didn't want to leave Texas. She didn't want to leave home. So she came to Prairie View. I was like, I don't know, that's a big sacrifice. Just to hang that thing on your wall that says Harvard, you know. Anybody else? Are we done for today? We'll meet tomorrow and start on content, writing stuff. Like I said, I'll post lots of things, videos, whatever it is, as kind of supplements to any real instruction that we're not getting. And then like Zaria said, you know, if you're confused, whatever, and you want a one-on-one time, I have all whole week. All I have to do is paint the house and stuff like that. So for the summertime, I'm 75% completed my fence. It's just so hot, I don't want to finish it. Oh, and there was a big snake in my backyard, like, I don't know, it's about 5 feet long, on the patio furniture, because I have all those fence boards probably in the backyard and all the rain. All right, well, you all can leave if you're ready to leave and go enjoy your afternoon. Make sure you look at everything on eCourses so that you can come with, you know, questions or whatever else you might need.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice
Okay,
day.
have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Bye. I'll be on time next time.
Okay. Oh, wait. We're meeting at 1 o'clock from here on out. Okay.
1 o'clock.
I'll post it on eCourses, but it's 1 o'clock, not 2 o'clock.
Are the meetings only every Wednesday?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good one.
Wait, I wanted to add that I'm not like bad at English, but like it does like challenge me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here to try and make the best grade I can.
Okay, well, I'm sure you'd be fine. I'll get to see after you write on Monday, and then I'll tell you what we need to do to, you know, get you better. You speak like you have a good grasp of language. So now it's just translating it, you know, because we think messy a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And when we think messy, it comes out messy on paper. And so that's probably why you think you're not the best writer, but it's just a matter of, you know, I don't want to say control, but it's a matter of like finding a way to you know, wrestle it down.
I understand, because it's like I know what I want to say, but it's just hard to get it out on paper.
Right. Sometimes you just gotta spill it out, let it come out a mess. Really, I mean, that sounds horrible, but you know, you just let it come out, and then Mr. Schmidt will tell you, hey, you gotta fix this and fix that or whatever.
Okay. If I ever need help, I'll just email you.
You're fading out.
Oh, I said if I ever need help, I'll just email you.
Yeah. And we can meet, you know, especially like between a writing and when you're revising it, you might want to meet and go over whatever my comments were or whatever.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at you and not at the at the
No,
camera.
it's okay.
All right, have a good one. Any more questions?
No, no, sir.
Okay, what is that on your wall? Is that a mirror or is that a window?
It's actually a mirror.
Oh, okay. Kind of looks like a window. All right, have a good afternoon.
You too, thank you. Bye.